Hey special family, welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year. Thank you for coming back. For new subscribers, thank you for joining us. We're mainly focused on autism on this channel. Autism traveling, autism feeding, and there's some natural hair videos in between. But if you're new, welcome, and please like, subscribe, and share. If you've been here from the beginning, hey special family, welcome back. Okay, so to start off, today's video, it's gonna be titled Our Autism Story. It took me a couple of years to make this video just because I'm scared of being judged. Yes. If you have a YouTube channel and you come here on YouTube to tell your story or put yourself out there, you have to be open for judgment. You have to be open for criticism and the whole works. So I guess I'm putting myself out there, but there's a reason why I've decided to make a video about our autism story, and that's because as a parent, as a mother of a special needs child, I made some mistakes, and I won't be a good person if I have a YouTube channel educating people about autism and I don't tell them about the mistakes that I've made as a parent. And I don't want you guys to make the same mistake I've made. So I feel it's only right if I tell you guys about the mistakes that I've made, so that way maybe there's somebody out there I can help that they won't make the same mistake. It's been a journey and I've made some mistakes along the way, and I wanted to share those mistakes with you guys and tell you about my autism story so you guys don't make the same mistakes. Okay, so when I was pregnant, everything was normal. Had a good pregnancy. Ramsey was born at 38 weeks, 8 pounds 8 ounces, very big baby. I had a C-section because he was too big. And I'm little, I'm only 5 feet. So yeah, it was pretty big though. We had a pretty normal pregnancy, a normal delivery. He was checked out, he was fine.
Oh mama baby, oh mama baby, oh mama baby.
Then Dad and I decided that we would move overseas to the country where we're originally from, Suriname in South America. We will move back home so that I could be a stay-at-home mom, because I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom and raise them. It's my first child, so I wanted to experience the whole deal, and I did that. So at 4 months we decided that we were gonna move back home after he had his 3-month checkup. So we were gonna move back home at 4 months. So Ramsey was born, pretty healthy baby, did all the normal stuff.
Come on, go Leonie. Good job. Come on. Boof. Boof. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on, baby. Good job. Good job. Yes, good job, mama. Good job.
Checked out fine, and we were ready for the move. So we moved to South America, Suriname, and I've been a stay-at-home mom with him. We've been doing our thing. He's been growing up, doing all the typical stuff babies do. Crawled fine, tried to walk. He did all the normal stuff babies do. And then at age 1, I started to see some signs. When people tell you that there are no signs, I had no idea. I didn't see any signs. There are always signs. As a parent, you have an instinct. And all I'm gonna say is listen to your instinct. If your instinct tells you something is wrong, something is wrong. There are mild signs. At age 1, you can't really see a lot of signs, but there are mild signs in between. So at age 1, I noticed that the kids in church, the 1-year-olds, they would already try to say certain things, or you know, like normal stuff kids would do, except for walking, crawling, and the normal motor functions. His motor skills was fine. It's just I realized that there wasn't no eye contact, and I'm like, he doesn't really look at you. And I asked his dad, did you notice the same thing, that he doesn't really look at you? And his dad was like, I'm gonna pay attention. Then his dad was like, yeah, you're right, he doesn't really make eye contact. I'm like, maybe we kept him home too long now. I think it's time for him to join a daycare and socialize with other kids. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's because he's at home. So we're like, okay. Signed him up for daycare. He went to daycare. And I thank God for this daycare lady. There's a daycare lady. She moved from the Netherlands. She has a bachelor's degree in psychology, and she opened up a daycare in Suriname. And we interviewed a couple of daycares, and we decided on her daycare, and it was close to home too. It was literally 3 blocks away. So we decided to go with her daycare. And her name was Marnie. And we signed him up for the daycare. He went there the first week. Everything was fine. Second week. Third week, she was like, I need to talk to y'all. So I'm like, what's going on? She like, I think Ramsey needs a checkup. I'm like, what do you mean Ramsey needs a checkup? Is he sick? Does he have a fever, a cold? She's like, no, your son doesn't play with other kids. That was the first sign that I was like, okay, let me assess him. Then your son looks at holes in the wall, and he can sit in front of that wall for hours if you don't move him, just staring at the holes in the wall. I'm like, Then she's like, another thing is your son doesn't make eye contact at all. And he doesn't like to play with other kids. He doesn't like to associate. He just likes to be left alone. So I think you need to take him to have how would you say it in English? I guess she was suggesting that he gets a not a physical, but like a psychiatrist, like a child psychologist. Like he needs to see a child psychologist. I'm like, okay, I'll look into that. You know, mommy radar done went off. So we got home, and now from that day on, we're on Ramsey like a hawk, watching everything he does. Like literally just, is he doing that? Is he doing that? Is he doing that? So he kept going to the daycare. I'm like, okay, I can't take this no more. I've seen some of the signs she's saying, because I had to confirm for myself that he was doing the thing she said he was doing. And once I confirmed it for myself, I called up the pediatrician, made an appointment. When I told the pediatrician, he observed some of this stuff, and he was like, I'm going to send you to do a hearing test. I think your son might be deaf. Mistake number 1. Pay attention as I go through this phase of deafness. The doctor looked at Ramsey, examined him, and came to the pediatrician and came to the conclusion that Ramsey was deaf. Mommy instinct clicking, ting, ting, ting. I'm like, it's impossible for him to be deaf, because on the preschool prep video, he loves to sing along with the yellow character. Like he would sit there and sing the yellow song. So in order for him to sing the yellow song at age 1, he would have to hear it in order to repeat it. Here goes the doctor. I think he's partially deaf. Maybe he's hard of hearing. I think he's hard of hearing. So I'm going to send him to do a hearing test. Okay, I'm down for a hearing test. But that didn't sit well with me and at that time. But then when he said hard of hearing and not deaf, I'm like, that could be. Mind you, I've never heard of autism before. Don't know what autism is, nothing. This is all hitting new mother, first child, never had a child before. Like, all hitting me at once. So I told him, his dad and I sat and we're like, okay, we're going to set up this hearing test. Could be that he's partially, he might be hard of hearing. Let's say he's hard of hearing. Let the test confirm it. We're not specialists. We're not doctors. Let the test confirm it. Mistake number 2. You're not specialist. You're not doctor. Let the test confirm it. Went in there. Did the test. We sat in a room. She brought us in a cubicle, like some dark room. There are 3 teddy bears with symbols. One in the middle, one on the left, one on the right. She had Ramsey sit on my lap. Ramsey sat on my lap, and then the teddy bear on the left would make that clap sound with the symbol. Then the teddy bear on the right would make the clap sound with the symbol, and the teddy bear on the front would make the clap sound with the symbol. That went on one time, one round, second round, third round. Ramsey figured it out. Smart. So before the teddy bear on the left with the symbol started clapping, Ramsey turned around. So the teddy bear clapped. Then he turned around to the right, because you know the one on the right would clap next. So that one clapped. Then he looked forward, then that one clapped. He did that 3 more times. And they came to the conclusion that Ramsey was hard of hearing because he couldn't follow the sound of the teddy bears. He couldn't follow it when it clapped. He just kept looking everywhere in their mind. But when I thought about it after the fact and I processed it, because this whole autism diagnosis experience to us, that was a horrific experience. Some people might have sat in a doctor's office or a psychologist's office and got ma'am, I think your child has autism. Oh, not for us. For us, we had to go through all these steps that I'm about to tell you before we came to the word autism. So back to the specialist for the hearing test. Ma'am, I confirm what the doctor says. I think your child is hard of hearing and he's gonna need tubes. Once he gets tubes, it'll clear it out, and maybe he has backed up fluid or stuff in there, but the tubes will clear it out and you'll see a difference the next day. My heart was jumping for joy because it was just hard of hearing. All he needed was some tubes and he'll be fine the next day. So we went back to the pediatrician. These are the results that the doctor said. He like, okay, let's make a appointment to put these tubes in. I'm like, okay, but explain to me how you put tubes in and how that works. Turns out it's a whole procedure to put these tubes in, like narcosis, like putting your child to sleep type of thing. I'm like, oh. So I'm talking to his dad. His dad like, well, we're not doctors. We don't know better. If they say that's it, then that's it. And you want your child. The reason I'm telling you this, because do not make the same mistake I made. I wanted my child to be okay so bad that I would take anything anybody said because they're professionals and be like, yup, that's it. That's it. He's hard of hearing. Knowing in the back of your mind something's telling you, your child can hear just fine. You've seen him repeat some of the words Dora said. If he must be very skillful at reading lips to be saying swiper, no swiping. Like, he hard of hearing, but he heard swiper, no swiping. He can sing the whole Yellow song. Like, I was battling my demons in the back of my head. Like, no, he's gonna be fine. If you get these tubes, the doctor said he's gonna be fine. I'm not a professional. I'm not a doctor. The doctor said he'll be fine. Set the appointments up for the tubes. Scared to death. My son going under narcosis, putting him to sleep, and I'm like, oh my God. So they put him to sleep. They put the tubes. We came home that day. I'm sitting there. I'm not letting my child go out of my sight. I'm watching him like a hog. The next day, third day, fourth day, I don't see no difference. None. It was like we never did this procedure at all. I call her back, the doctor, I need another appointment. I came back in. I'm like, we put these tubes in and you told me the next day or 2 days later I'll see a difference. I don't see any difference. Like, he's still the same. He doesn't make eye contact. He doesn't make sounds. The eating part didn't even come in yet. This is the behavior part. The eating is a whole separate one added to that. I'm like, the eating, okay, let me not say it was separate to that. The eating started at age 1. The texture issues, like that he wouldn't eat certain things, that started at age 1. And certain cups, you couldn't switch his cup. All of that started from 18 months down. But let's stick to the timeline. So the doctor was like, no, you were supposed to see a difference the next day. I'm like, well, I didn't see a difference. Like, he's still doing the same thing. So the doctor was like, okay, bring him back in. We're gonna do a full assessment. So they did a checkup, did some scans. The doctor decided to tell his dad and I, while we're sitting there in the office chair, that he think it's related to the brain. And we're like, yeah, we kind of have a feeling that it's related to the brain. Then he was like, I think we're gonna need to do brain surgery. His dad and I were like, wait, what? Yeah, so we can go in and see what the problem really is. I think we need to do brain surgery. I picked up my bag. I'm like, we'll call you. We got in the car. I'm like, if this man think he operating on my child without a diagnosis, without a reason, without anything confirming that my child has this or that, he must be outside of his mind. If you think I'm leaving America and let a doctor in South America come operate on my child, you done lost your mind. His dad was like, okay, here's the deal. We got home, we talked about it. His dad was like, I came to a conclusion and this is what's gonna have to happen. You and him are gonna have to go back to the States so he can get all the help he needs. And that's a sacrifice we're gonna have to make. Whenever I have to work to put food on the table and keep things going, and that way you can get him to all the doctors and all the help we need, because over our dead body somebody's gonna just do brain surgery on our child without having a diagnosis or a reason or nothing, just because you're curious. Parents, pay attention. Always get a second opinion. Do not let anybody just tell you something and you jump on it because you're scared, you're terrified, you want your child to be okay, like me. But I know you're doing it for a good reason, but learn from me. Get a second opinion. Don't just jump. Get a second opinion. So I decided Ramsey and I were coming back to the US. I moved back, got him all the doctor's appointments, got him a pediatrician. It must have been God, because I picked the best pediatrician ever. My son's pediatrician is an amazing guy. Like, I just have to pick up the phone, explain to him why, and he's ready to send them. So when we found a pediatrician, he was like, I gave him all the reports and the paperwork that I brought from the pediatrician and the doctors back home. He looked at it. He was like, ma'am, I'm gonna refer you to ENT specialist for children, just so we make sure that it's not hard of hearing, because in these reports I know I have to go from what's in the report and make sure everything is good before I go to the next step. So I got an ENT in Atlanta, went to the ENT specialist. She concluded that Ramsey was hard of hearing because she did the same audiology test, and Ramsey did the same thing he did in Suriname, because he already know how that thing works, and they concluded he's hard of hearing too. And she looked in his ear. She's like, they said they put tubes. I don't see any tubes in there. I can't find these tubes. There are no tubes in his ear, ma'am. I'm like, they did the surgery. They put my child to sleep. They did the surgery. They put tubes in there. They're like, ma'am, I can't find these tubes. We have to go back in and put these tubes in order to make him better. Me crying all hysterical, like, what did I put my child through? There are no tubes in there? Like, how are there no tubes in there? I seen him put him to sleep and everything, like. So we did the procedure. They scheduled the procedure. ENT went in there. They put new tubes in. He should be good in no time. When the ENT came back out, Ramsey was done. I was in the recovery room with him, and she was like, I did find the tubes in there, but I've never seen tubes like this in all my medical career. Like, I don't even know what those were. Like, I've never seen those kind of tubes, but I put new ones that we use in the US. Maybe that's the ones they use overseas, but I put the ones we use in the US, and that should do it. He should be fine in a couple days time. 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 days, nothing changed. Called her back. Ma'am, you said he will be fine in a couple days times. Ramsey's still the same, not making eye contact, nothing. Okay, we need to send him to do another hearing test, because when they send him the second time to do the hearing test after the surgery, this is all in the US now, he did the same thing. Then the lady picked up, the lady that was administering the test, then she picked up. She like, wait a minute, he is looking at the monkey before the monkey makes the sound. So he already know the pattern, because he was not looking at random patterns. He was looking at the left one, because, you know, the left one would hit first, then he'll look at the right, and then he'll look at the center one. So he kept following that pattern. She was like, oh, we can't do this test. This test won't, that's why this test won't be valid, because he already know the sound, so we can't pick up if it's legit. So we need to do another hearing test. Apparently, there's a hearing test where they put the kids to sleep and detect brain waves, make sounds, and then look at their brain waves, their brain activity, to see if they can hear these sounds while they put them to sleep. I forgot what it's called, but I'll link it below, right here in the bottom, the name of the test. And I said, you have to put him asleep again? This is another procedure? Yes, ma'am, we can only do it if he's asleep, because being that he's so active, he's not sitting still, and he can't do the other test because he already knows the sequence. We can't get an accurate test, and this is the only way the test will be accurate. They put him to sleep. They did the test. I'm sitting in the waiting room, frantic. His dad is overseas on FaceTime. Look, I'm just like, oh my God, please let this be the last time I'm putting my child through this. Here comes they came, they're like, oh, Ramsey's coming in a few minutes, just came to tell you. Everything came out good. Ramsey can hear perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with his hearing. Wait, what? You mean to tell me I put my child under all this shit, and there's no, excuse my language, under all this stress, and there's nothing wrong with his hearing? So he can hear just fine. So there's nothing wrong with his hearing. No, ma'am, his hearing is just fine. But there's something else we have to talk about. I'm like, okay. I think Ramsey has autism. I'm like, wait, what? I think Ramsey has autism. I'm like, what is autism? I'm on the phone Googling autism. Like, I'm like, so you mean to tell me I put my son under all these things and nothing is wrong with him? He has autism. Mind you, I have no idea what autism is. And I'm over there busting out crying. And I'm like, ma'am, step out for a second. I shut the door and I'm bawling tears, crying. I had to put the coat to my mouth so I don't, because I felt so guilty, so that I put my child through this situation. And there was nothing wrong with his hearing. All he had was autism. Okay. I cried. And then I went back. So now that we found out that he's not hard of hearing, his hearing is fine. His mother put him through all this mess for no reason, just because she was scared. I guess my point is, what I'm trying to tell you is, always get a second opinion. Don't let people just tell you this, and the third because they're specialists. They can make mistakes too. And that can mean you neglecting what was actually wrong with your child and going through all these other avenues just to end up to something that has nothing to do with what was done to your child, basically. But okay, so now she told me Ramsey has autism. I'm in there crying. She left, and then when I was ready to talk, she came back in. She like, we're about to bring your son in. I'm like, okay. So I had to wipe my tears, put my happy face on, because I'm not gonna cry in front of my baby. He's just gonna see a happy mom while I'm dying inside, basically. So he came, he was okay, we said. We went home. On the ride home, my mind is just going 1,000 miles an hour, like that guilt feeling that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I didn't do it on purpose or anything, but a second opinion could have prevented all of this. A second opinion. Okay, went to the pediatrician with the results, and I told them, okay, they said he has autism. So the pediatrician walked me through it now. He like, okay, this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna go to a child psychologist, get a diagnosis. You're gonna go to Babies Can't Wait, sign up with them, because they're gonna start therapy with him so he can get his stuff in order. Do those two things first. I'm gonna give you the referrals, the numbers who you need to call. And I swear, I did just what he said, and I was happy that I went to a child psychologist and did the diagnosis first, because that paperwork from the diagnosis saves you an arm and a leg. Now, they were like, I met some moms and they were like, make sure your child has Medicaid, and preferably SSI Medicaid, because a lot of therapy places accept that, and that will help you the long way. If you're planning on applying for SSI Medicaid, make sure you have a diagnosis from an autism center or a child psychologist. Don't go there with your two hands, because they're gonna deny you and they won't help you. Once he had that Medicaid, because I also have him on my job insurance, so he has two insurance. He has my Blue Cross insurance and he has the Medicaid insurance. Those two things can mean revolution. What I had to learn is that in Atlanta, they don't really help children with special needs until they're 3. Yeah, you heard me right, until they're 3. And I refuse to let my child sit at home with a disability and waiting for his 3rd birthday. So I put him in a private school, a special need private school. They start him from babies, and it's here in Atlanta. In Atlanta, it's called Elaine Clark, and it's a special needs school. I put him there until his 3rd birthday, and once he hit 3, then Babies Can't Wait will sign him over to the regular school, and they'll take it from there into the public school now. But from age 1 or 0 to 3, you basically only dealing with Babies Can't Wait, and you on your own. Can't get no other help because they don't start until 3. So what I did Babies Can't Wait, and I did the special need private school. And with those two, I didn't have Babies that Can't Wait. They come to your house, but being that I worked, I had them go to the school. The school does allow the therapist to go there and give therapy sessions. So they went there and did the therapy sessions there. And when he left Babies Can't Wait, Babies Can't Wait and Elaine Clark, Ramsey had eye contact. He knew how to hold a spoon. For parents like me, that's a milestone and a half. Like, he's looking at me like, he's looking at me. But I made this video just to tell you guys, like, first point, always follow your gut feeling. If your gut tells you that's not sufficient, that's not good enough, point number 2, get a second opinion. Follow your gut, get a second opinion so you don't make the mistakes I made. Because I have to live with that guilt. Even though I was trying to help, but I was doing more harm than good. I wanted my baby to be okay. I wanted my baby to be normal without thinking, because, well, the doctor said this, so I'm going to do this. Just ran with it without thinking. Always make sure You get a second opinion. Always make sure you follow your gut feeling. And don't let anybody make you feel like you're not doing your best, because this is not an easy journey. Like, we all know this is not an easy journey. That word special is not only for the kids, it's also for the parents, because it takes a special parent to do what we do. It takes a special parent. When I got a diagnosis in a room for a hearing test, I bust out crying. I didn't even know what autism was, but I just knew it was something bad in my gut feeling. So I was just crying. And when she said, okay, Ramsey's on his way down, I had to wipe all of that, put my best face on, and get it together. So this video is just to let you guys know, we didn't get the nice testing in a room, and then no, we got straight in a hearing test that, oh, your child might have autism. You might want to go get him checked after we done got him 2 surgeries for no reason. Yeah. So please don't make the mistakes we did, and get that diagnosis from a child psychologist. The diagnosis take about 2 to 3 hours, but it's worth it, and always keep a copy. Have the original somewhere where your hand can reach. Scan it, have it on your laptop, desktop, wherever you want to have it. You need to have it at a finger's touch, because any therapy place, any place medical that you deal with regarding your child is going to want to have a copy of that. So you need to have it on you at all times. Make sure insurance cards are always up to date, because they go together. The diagnosis, insurance. If you have Medicaid, try to get SSI Medicaid, because most therapy places like SSI Medicaid, you don't have any complications with them. I hope this video helped someone to not make the mistakes I did. I hope this video helps someone to understand that get a second opinion. Not because it's a doctor and he said it means he's always right. Get a second opinion. And don't let nobody tell you your child needs brain surgery. Go run. Like, brain surgery? Yeah, no. Run. But thank you guys for coming back to my channel. I hope this video was informative. Happy New Year. I hope you had awesome holidays. And I'll be back towards the end of the month with another video to give you guys an update on what we're doing towards that. We have a surprise, but we'll give you guys an update towards that. See you in the next video. Bye.